All right, fashion brands that sell clothing. This video is the clothing case study on how we generated a over 4.3 million return from 868,000 spent at a 5.01 ROAS in 2 years from Meta ads without discounting except for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So again, here's proof of results. You can see the timeline up here on the top right, April 1st, 2022 to April 24th, 2024. And here's the ad spend, the ROAS, and the return. And that's over 2 million return per year in the last 2 years alone. Now, some context on the brand. The geo is United States only, but this strategy that I'm about to share with you is applicable in any market. Platform is obviously only Meta, and the target market is women's ages 25 and higher. It's still applicable for men's fashion brands and women's fashion brands with a younger target market, if that is what your brand is. Now, the average order value is $250 to $300. It's nothing cheap. And some problems she was facing. So her ads were plateauing and she didn't know how to scale further. And every time she tried to scale top of funnel, her ROAS would go down. Now, again, why should you watch this case study? Well, we specialize in scaling fashion brands for over 4 years with ads, and most of them sell clothing. Here are some of them. And we have over 14 video testimonials from fashion brand founders like yourself on the results and experience working with us. You can see all of it below this video, so I won't go into it in this video. And I'm Brandon, one of the co-founders of Digiceptual. In 2023 alone, we generated over 39 million in sales across all our fashion brands from just Meta. So I'll zoom in more. You can see on our dashboard at the top right, in 2023, here's the numbers, over 39 million in sales. Now, I'll break down our exact ad strategy and thought process behind it in a very straightforward, no bullshit manner so you can apply it to your fashion brand and get better results. So this is what I'm going to cover in this case study that you can apply immediately and see improved results. So the exact top of funnel TOF strategy that never plateaus sales, what audiences we exclude in TOF campaigns to guarantee new customers, the exact TOF audiences that convert for over 2 years straight, and how we structure TOF campaigns to test and scale consistently, what types of ads and ad creatives resonate with your audiences, and the 2 simple landing pages that convert the highest. And it's simpler than you might think. So let's first cover the funnel. Our strategy on scaling fashion brands is getting them new customers profitably. That means taking more market share the brand doesn't have yet. That's how we drive real growth. This means our focus is on top of funnel TOF campaigns, not middle or bottom of funnel campaigns, because middle and bottom of funnel campaigns are meant for remarketing. Before we came in, she was already remarketing with other channels like email and SMS. So there's no point in focusing ad spend on that. Otherwise, she loses profit, attribution gets messed up, and growth stagnates and plateaus. If we focused on remarketing, then there's no point of us being here because she could easily do that herself. So now let's dive into the numbers on how we did this. So out of the $868,131.83 spent, 833,000, I'll just round it up, of the ad spend was spent on top of funnel. And here are some of the TOF campaigns we are still running and have run before. And now I've blurred out some parts of the campaign names, and you'll probably see this going forward because some of the names are for internal use. So for example here, these are the TOF campaigns: the Sandbox, TOF, Scale, ABO, Advantage Plus. I'll get into all the details of these campaigns later. And here are some more that we've ran in the past as well. And here are the results we got with those campaigns. Now, only 28,000, around 28,000 of the spend has been on middle of funnel, and this campaign is still live to this day. So I'll just keep it zoomed in actually. So you can see MOF, right? It's still being used to this day. Only 7.4K was spent on bottom of funnel BOF, only because she wanted to push certain products to her existing customers with the ads to sell it out. Once that period was over, the campaigns were turned off. So you can see the campaigns are off. And these are the only 2 times we used BOF. So to piece the funnel together, I'll just keep it zoomed in like this. 96% of the ad spend was on TOF, 3% was on MOF, and 1% was briefly on BOF. This means our TOF campaigns drove over 4 million worth of new customers at a profitable ROAS into the brand in 2 years alone. And that's without discounting our sales promotions outside of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So now any repeat purchases she gets from our backend is icing on the cake. By the way, we don't measure profitability based on lifetime value, only from first purchase. That's all that matters from our end. So on our average TOF spend is 96%, and we have other accounts where it's 100% TOF because again, we're here to drive real growth to the brand. Now, audience exclusions. As always, to make sure our TOF campaigns only go after new customers, all of them have these audience exclusions below. So exclude this is existing customers lifetime, exclude this V2 is email list lifetime, and it's lifetime because in Klaviyo, we have an automatic connection that adds any new customer or email subscriber that comes in from any source to that list. 180-day web view is anyone who visited the website the past 180 days, and 180-day IG and Facebook, so you can see IG and Facebook, is anyone who has engaged their Facebook and Instagram in the past 180 days. These exclusions are especially important with Advantage Plus campaigns. Otherwise, it's just retargeting campaign in disguise. ROAS may look great, but that is not getting new customers, which defeats the purpose of ads. Now, TOF audiences. Most of our scaling and testing audiences are just broad. To this day, our main TOF audiences are broad. Meta's algorithm is advanced enough to know exactly who the target market is, provided the parameters are set correctly. So all we do is focus on testing and scaling winning ads and let the ad target the ideal customer who would buy. We understand how the algorithm works and we just leverage it in our favor. Example, with our Sandbox Creative TOF campaign, it's only broad. This campaign alone made over $884,000 from 133 spent at a 6.62 ROAS and is still scaling to this day. As you can see here, right? So Sandbox Creative, you see here's the broad audience. Sandbox means it was originally a testing campaign. Sometimes we just turn it into a scaling campaign if we get winning ads from the test. And I'll cover more on testing later. Now, interest audiences. We first test and find winning interest in an ABO testing campaign. Each ad set starts at $20 a day. If we saw something that had traction, we would increase the budget to test further. So here's an example of an interest audience testing campaign we've done. So you can see Matches, Sense, right? Bergdorf, Stella McCartney, Birkenstock. Once we have identified the winning ad sets from this campaign, for example, this one, we just stack the winning interests, audiences in one ad set in one scaling campaign to keep it simple. Here's an example, right? TOF scale. Here's a scaling campaign. Here's the big stack of interests. So you can see here, 1990s in fashion, 2010s, Acne Studios, Adidas. This is the stack. We make sure the stack's total audience size is 50 million plus because that's a large enough size for us to scale in. For example, here, this was 4 million. This size is, this one's like around 9 million max, 11 million max, and Adidas is obviously over 200 million, which alone makes up for all of it. But you can see it's all stacked over 50 million. Because if we ran audiences like the 1990s in fashion apparel alone with this audience size only around 5 mil, it will cap out very quickly. This interest scaling campaign made over 104,000 from 16K spent at a 6.42 ROAS. Here's the results from this stack right here. Now, why did we turn off the campaign if it got those results, you may ask? Well, the reason is because over time, interest audience scaling campaigns die out. This is why our scaling audiences are broad. Now, let's talk about the TOF campaigns, the scaling campaigns. The main campaigns we use are ABO campaigns because it gives us the most control. The reason why we don't turn off Advantage Plus campaigns, despite our ABO campaigns outperforming it, is because we hear internally that Meta wants to transition everything to Advantage Plus at some point in time. So to prepare for that, we always have Advantage Plus campaigns on just in case. Despite this, we still run our own ABO campaigns and not only Advantage Plus campaigns because one, Meta has the most control with Advantage Plus, so we don't know exactly how things work. Two, just because we hear it internally doesn't mean it will 100% happen. So having both of them is a good hedge. Let's talk about sandbox campaigns. For testing, we use what we call sandbox campaigns. We test audiences and creatives in separate sandbox campaigns to find winning ones to scale, right? So each is a creative sandbox campaign and there's audience testing sandbox campaigns. We've tested lookalikes, but none of them worked at scale for this brand, so we don't do them anymore. When we are testing audiences, we usually test at least 3 audiences per campaign. Each audience is in its own ad set. Example below. This ad set, we tested 3 audiences and found that New York Times is a winning audience. I mean, in a campaign, sorry, not an ad set. So you can see here, right? New York Times, you can see by the ROAS here at a 7.34, that is the winning one. Then we just turn off the other ones that were underperforming and scaled up the New York Times. So it's like CDG, Juice Van Noten, like these did not work. But New York Times, that one worked. Now, creative testing. At this point for this brand, we split test 2 creatives per ad set. So When we first started, we tested at least 5 to 6 creatives per ad set to get winning angles. Once we got the winning angles, we scaled them and we just split test one new creative against it. If we think it can outperform it and see the results every 7 days. So you can see here, right? We're testing 2 ads per ad set. Testing ads are at $20 a day. Once we validated that they were winners, we increased it to $75 a day per ad set. So here's an example of tests that became winners. Then we increased it to $75 a day, and it's still converting at a high ROAS. Ads. The best performing ads for this specific brand are carousels. Nothing else comes close to it. All our scaling ads are carousels. So you can see here, right? In this campaign, here's the results from the carousels. Here's an example in an ad set. Carousel, 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 everything is a carousel. The reasons why carousels work so well is because new audiences like to window shop before clicking and buying. Carousels let them click and browse to see what the brand's about, like window shopping in person. Once something resonates, they will click and buy. To get more specific, we only do carousels of her top 10 products, which are her best sellers. The reason why is because these products have proven demand in the market already. So what we do is leverage this demand in ads to get new customers at scale. For the founder, it makes her operations efficient because all she has to do is make sure best sellers are in stock to keep driving growth. She can buy more with confidence because she knows this will sell and not overstock, which also means she can use this to negotiate better supply and logistic pricing because of the volume coming in. Now, the creatives. The 2 creatives that work best are still images and GIFs of our best sellers. So still images, I'll cover it first, is very simple. It's just a picture of the product or a model wearing the product with like a plain background. That's it. For GIFs, it quickly flips to a mix of lifestyle and product still images. So lifestyle is like a specific lifestyle setting. For example, they're in the streets of New York. That's a lifestyle setting. You see, GIFs are like carousels themselves. So we run GIFs as a single ad, not in a carousel ad. They are versatile because there are near infinite numbers of ways we can make it. It can be faster, slower, only product shots, online lifestyle shots, a mix of both, etc. Plus, they are efficient to make so we can rapidly test and scale winners. The main reason why still images and GIFs work well is because they feel authentic to new audiences. It's literally, here's the product and what the brand is about. Do you want it? Fashion is black and white. New audiences either want it or they don't. Which ties back to why we only use creatives that showcase bestsellers, because we know new audiences want this already. So all we do is get it in front of the right audiences, see which specific creatives gets them to buy, and then we scale it. Lastly, let's talk about landing pages. This part is very simple. We only drive traffic to 2 main landing pages: homepage, bestseller page. Bestseller page is an obvious one because we are focused on selling bestsellers in ads. The page is just a collection of our bestsellers. Once someone lands on it, they shop freely. As for homepage, we found countless times that it is one of the highest converting landing pages. It might sound counterintuitive because people have to click more times to buy, or they aren't getting sent to specific product pages based on the ad, but the data doesn't lie. Most of the traffic goes to the homepage, and it's been like this for years. We don't do custom landing pages and anything like that, just these 2 pages alone. So the summary, 96% of the ad spend is on top of funnel because we scale by getting new customers profitably. That's how ads drive real growth, not by remarketing. To make sure our TOF campaigns only gets new customers, we exclude these audiences. All customers lifetime, all email subscribers lifetime, all website visitors past 180 days, anyone who's engaged with Facebook and Instagram the past 180 days. As you can see here, we only scale in broad and interest audiences. Scaling campaigns are either ABO or Advantage Plus campaigns to hedge against one another. Sandbox campaigns are used to test audiences and creatives separately. When testing new audiences, we test at least 3 audiences per campaign. When testing creatives, we do 2 creatives per ad set. Testing ad sets are at $20 a day. Once we find winners, we increase it to $75 a day per ad set. On ads, we only run carousels of our bestsellers because it lets let new audiences window shop, and bestsellers already have proven demand, so they will convert off first click. This also streamlines our backend and makes it more efficient. The 2 creators that work best are still images and GIFs because they are authentic, and the landing page we drive traffic to is the bestseller page and homepage. That is how we generated over 4.3 million return from about 868,000 spent at a 5.01 ROAS in 2 years for this clothing fashion brand. Here's proof again from the ad account. Now, you can take this case study and apply it to your brand, which can be challenging or time consuming, or potentially work with us where we do everything for you and get you better results than what you're currently getting. If you're interested in working with us, book a call with me by clicking the book your call button below this video. You will speak to me personally, not a random sales rep. I'm very straightforward and no bullshit. The goal of our call is to determine if we can 100% get you better results than what you're currently getting. From my experience and track record in fashion, as you've seen, I can determine this in around 10 minutes or less. I have no reason to push and hard sell you to work with us because we work on a performance basis, meaning there's no upfront fees and you only pay us based on better results. So if it's not a good fit yet, I will be the first one to tell you no because we wouldn't get paid. If it's a good fit, then I'll map out exactly how we will scale your brand and get you better results with our fashion ad strategy. Once you book a call, you'll also get free access to our fashion growth thesis, where I'll go into more detail on exactly how we scale over 15 fashion brands and get them results for over 4 years with our fashion ad strategy. And some of them over here, right? You can even choose to apply what's in this thesis and see an immediate increase in results before our call. So again, if you're interested in working with us, book a call with me by clicking the book your call button below this video, and I look forward to connecting.